What's up, guys? It's another episode of Off the Post, and I'm your host, DJ, with the red hat like Fred Durst. This is my new panel today. Well, you see some regulars. We'll say hello to a couple of them, let the new people introduce themselves, and then let the old people tell you what they've been up to lately. Let's start with, I guess we'll go ladies. First, let's go with Jen. Jen, introduce everyone to who you are. Tell them who you like and a little bit about yourself.
All right. I'm Jen. I'm doing this podcast from my car because I just got off of work. I'm a Washington Spirit fan, hardcore, love them. Love the U.S. Women's National Team. There's really nothing that interesting about me, so I'll pass it over to the next lady.
All right, and that would be Karen. Tell them who you are, Karen, and what you like.
All right, I'm Karen. People call me Kraken. I'm a Seattle Reign fan and U.S. Women's National fan. And, yeah, love Seattle Reign. Washington Spirit is my second team, though, so good job.
Now let's go check out some of our regulars.
It's hard not to love it.
Rulio, tell them what you've been up to lately.
Hey guys, what's up? It's nice to be back. I've been just lazy lately. Relaxing.
That's Aurelio, ladies and gentlemen. Always relaxing, nothing and nothing more. Chrissy, tell them what you've been up to.
Working too much and not watching as much soccer as I'd like to, but hopefully that'll change the next couple of months. Otherwise,
Yeah,
that's about it.
the next couple of months, guys, is going to be pretty crazy. Actually, this next week is going to be crazy. This is where I promote and you write it in your little schedule so that you'll know all the time. So tomorrow, we're bringing on a new show that's going to touch on leagues in Europe and other tournaments around the world, and that's going to be at 2 p.m. tomorrow. It's going to be at a funny time.
Tomorrow or Wednesday?
It's going to be tomorrow. It's going to be tomorrow. I swear it's going to be tomorrow, everyone. I'm not lying about this. Then Thursday, we're going to have the Sky Blue Spotlight because we couldn't really compound all these things together. Because if we did, then you would be sitting here watching a show for 4 hours, and I would be making my dinner and eating and not paying much attention to what the panelists are saying. So we couldn't do that. So we're going to break up the shows to about 3. So Thursday, about this same time, we're going to do the Sky Blue Spotlight, and I hope you enjoy that. Other than that, let's get the show started, shall we? I was about to say, was it enthusiastic guests or something? Come on, people.
Yeah, all right. Woo.
There
Do
we
it.
go. If you want to send us anything, you can send us questions on Tumblr at Woso Off the Post, or if you want to send any questions on Twitter, you can send us something with the hashtag WosoTalk. Also on Facebook, which most of you get to talk to me on Facebook. It seems like that's where I make a lot of friends at for this show. You could send us a message on there, and one of us will go check it, and we'll answer it on there. I guess we will start with, let's see, what is my first one? Booyah! We're talking the Flash versus FC Kansas City. So that was an interesting game because the stream was crappy. I guess I'll start off with that. But we will start with something else, really. Asking you, what did you think of FC Kansas City in that game?
It was a lot of hard work from everyone from the Flash. It was a shame they couldn't score. Muse was all over the place. I mean, she was going forward, defending, creating chances. A very solid game from her. The Flash deserved the 3 points. Some of the chances Kansas created was when Timrock and Hagen were free and no one on them. And when you face this kind of players, you gotta be on them. Don't let them play, or they will eventually score and you can lose the game just because of one ball.
Karen, what was your take from that game?
Yeah, you know what? I was actually surprised because I had not been expecting New York to come out as hard as they did. I was actually pleasantly surprised because I've been waiting for them to actually find their groove, and they really did, and they really were hammering KC for much of the game. And it's like Aurelio said, it's unfortunate that they lost those 3 points just because of this one brilliant goal. But I mean, they were on top of it the whole game. They were just hammering Barnhart, and actually Barnhart had a really great game too.
Yeah.
So that was unfortunate for Western New York. So.
And let's go, Jen. What was your take on the game?
Yeah, I kind of agree with the other two. The Flash have definitely, they're a really young team. They have a whole lot of new faces, a whole lot of new players. new to the NWSL and new to the Flash, obviously, and every team this week played without their U.S. women's national team players. So we really saw a lot of the rookies coming up, and they really stepped it up. They were firing away at Barnhart. So the fact that they could maintain such pressure as essentially a rookie team was really impressive.
And Christy, is there anyone on Western New York Flash that's impressed you lately? Like she said, it's a real young team, so there's a lot of young players finally getting their first opportunities to at least, start and play.
I mean, honestly, I'd be lying if I said I actually knew most of their names were. The thing I noticed, though, and I think I said this in one of the previous shows, is that I think Western New York Flash has one of the best opportunities to do the best during the World Cup because the majority of their team is intact. And as they learn to work together, they may actually, pull most of their wins over the next several weeks through the World Cup without them having those impact players. I know they have Sydney Leroux right now, but she wasn't even with the team long enough for the team to mesh with her either. So I think that they're probably the most complete team going into the World Cup. So I'm gonna have to get to know their names a little bit and see what they do over the next few weeks.
For me, the player that keeps standing out, well, there's two players actually, and it's Sam Mewis. She seems like she's just, I don't know, their main threat when going forward. Sometimes they threw her a lot of times. She'll help get the forwards passes, but she's so tall that she's like a threat in the air for them and stuff. And also, who I've been impressed with is, other than Becky Edmonds, at right back, Edmonds has been putting balls in left and right, and it's just sooner or later they're going to find the heads of people. I mean, she's been impressive to me as a right back, getting forward and really helping the team. So, I mean, I like actually Western New York Flash as much as you guys think we hate them. They've looked good, but right now they are 1-3, so I guess they are where we said they would be. So I'm sorry, but no, I'm not. So moving on, the Chicago Red Stars played, and they were playing. Oh, I'm lagging a bit. Forgive me a second, people. This is the problem with live. The Chicago Red Stars played against Boston, and that was an interesting game as well because Chicago's just been on a roll. Even now that Press is gone, we still expect them to be on that roll. Were you, Aurelio, impressed with how Boston did, actually, how they came to play against Chicago?
Yeah, from what I saw from the game, they were very dominating the whole game. Didn't give a single chance for Boston. And I didn't expect that without Press there. So I was really surprised, and I think they can do a lot during this World Cup time.
Let's jump to Jen. Jen, do you see Boston being at the bottom of the league for the whole season?
I don't think I do. I'm a little bitter with Boston because they waived Joanna Lohman last year, but we picked her up, so it's okay. So I'd like to say I'm seeing them at the bottom of the table, but I don't think that's the case. I think, during the World Cup, everyone's kind of going to think they're swimming, and I think Boston might swim a little bit during that time.
Yeah, I'm like you, because I think they might, how they look, and I really don't want to dog out the Flash with Flash Spotlight coming up in the week, but we can talk about that another time. But it's really between those two teams, to be honest with you, to be serious, of who's going to be at the bottom. So, I don't know. To me, the Flash look good, but they've been losing, and Boston sometimes are just getting battered, or they'll play real good a game. You don't know what you're getting out of that team. I guess maybe because it's a young team, too, so they can play good sometimes, and other times they'll be crap. But, Christy, what do you think of Boston or Chicago?
I mean, Chicago is not really a surprise. I think really, for even the first two seasons, they were on the cusp of being a good team. They struggled having their starters in, and of course they acquired Kristen Press, which gives them a nice little edge going into post World Cup. But I think in the meantime, they've put together and have had a really nice team, a consistent team, a team that can compete every week. I mean, even when you couldn't even name one of their top players on the team last year, they still were able to put up a good fight and had a solid team. So their performance without Press doesn't surprise me at all. And as far as the battle of the worst between Boston and the Flash, I mean, I really couldn't flip a point on that one right now. Unfortunately, I think you got two teams, not a lot of star power, which, like I think Jen said, kind of gives them maybe that opportunity to mesh together and become a good team and acquire some nice wins here in the during the World Cup. So I guess we'll really see where they wind up, where both those teams wind up when the World Cup's over, and then see what happens after that.
Karen, do you see Chicago as a threat to make a run to the championship this year?
Oh yeah, definitely. But I also I'm not saying that this is like the team's fault or anything like this, but they did get to play their first 4 games at home. Mm-hmm. And you have heard all of the stuff about the pitch in Chicago being a little rough for wear. And so I think that has benefited them for sure, but I also think that they are also just a really great team, and like Christy said, very consistent all the time. Yep. And I wasn't surprised that with Press and Johnston gone that they were still pretty dangerous. I expected more, though, out of Boston, honestly, because especially with a player like McCaffrey has literally come out of nowhere and has been one of the most impressive players on the pitch this whole season, I thought. So I was expecting more out of her. She was a little more quiet than I wanted her to be, but I thought it wasn't surprising that Chicago came away with a 3-0 win, honestly.
Yeah, with McCaffrey, I've been impressed with her the whole season. It's like now she's only played a couple of games, and the whole team is focused around her. Everything runs through her. She carries them forward. She's usually getting other people goals, so I love McCaffrey. But Boston just ran into with this game in Chicago. DiBernardo and Colaprico, as we were talking about earlier in the Chicago Red Stars spotlight, they were just controlling the midfield the whole game. And Boston just really didn't have anyone that could really compete with that. And like I said, Chicago's just looking like a solid team all the way around. So I'm really impressed with them. So I think they're really gonna do a lot of damage this year against no matter who they play. And I think I said the other game was the crappy stream. No, this was the crappy stream that pissed me off. Yeah, this was the one. This was the one. Because it was like kept jumping halfway through, and I was just like, aren't we past this after But someone told me blame the MLS. Moving forward, we're about to talk about one of my favorite teams, the Sky Blue versus Seattle Reign. As we know, Sky Blue has struggled to score more than 2 goals a game this season because they've only scored 1 goal in every game they played in. Yeah, you can laugh at that because she's a Seattle fan. So we're going to start with the Seattle fan first, and we're just going to go right to the major talking point of that whole game. What did you think of that penalty?
That was messed up. That was so lame. Even from where I was watching, from like behind my screen, I could tell that her hand was nowhere near the ball. And then they gave her a red card, and now they'll get her for the next game. But that aside, that was like so lame. It was a good PK. Like Nadim is a legit player, and that was an amazing PK. But they did not deserve that PK. And I also thought Foxhoven was not offsides on that play. So that was just like, I felt like the ending should have been like a 2-0 for Reign instead of a 1-1. That was just bogus. But other than that, I mean, I think both teams did not play to their capacity. Seattle and Sky Blue, I think.
Rulio, what did you think of, I guess, Sky Blue's performance? Let's start there because I have a lot to say about that, but I'll let someone else start on Sky Blue.
Yeah, I think it was a very interesting game to watch. Many chances for both sides, kept the fans entertained to the end. King Little was looking dangerous as usual, and I think too. Sky Blue, they had more chances than you were telling me. I was surprised, but like the same thing that happened to the Flash, when you don't score in football, these things can happen and can lose game or tie against Seattle. The frenetic game, and when the Seattle fans saw they won the game, bam, a PK to change everything.
Yeah, that's how it went. I guess I'll take the 1 point. Jen, what have you thought of Seattle so far this season, and some of the performance of some of their players? Because I think Winters was just bossing our little midfield out there. Sky Blue just couldn't handle her. Hear me, Jen? Oh, Jen, she might be having issues.
Technical difficulties.
Oh, technical difficulties. We'll go to Christy there while she figures it out. Christy, what have you thought of Seattle this year? Since you're a Portland fan, tell us how you truly feel.
I mean,
And be mean.
yeah, Seattle has I don't know, they've been decent, they've been good. I don't think they've quite lived up to what I think expectations were coming into the season based on the performance last season, but I mean, Winters has always been a great player, and I thought it was kind of interesting that she made a very short run as far as call-ups go on the U.S. Women's National Team. But some people are better career club players than they are national team players, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that Seattle is going to do really well. I think they're going to be in it at the end and make another run to play in the championship game. If they pick up the pace and they kind of stay on that path that they've been on for the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, well, hopefully they don't. No, I'm just kidding. Jennifer, are you? Jennifer, are you back yet? Can you hear us?
Calling Jen. Jennifer. Hello. Jennifer.
I think she's having technical. Oh,
I see your face.
there she. Can you hear us, Jennifer?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. What did you think of the Sky Blue Seattle game? Anyone impress you in that game?
Actually, for me, this entire week was just like week of the goalkeepers. I don't know what was going on. Like every goalkeeper was on fire, so I was really impressed by Brittany Cameron.
Yeah, she was very impressive actually, Brittany Cameron. That was one of the few shining lights during that game. So now let me get this rant out real quick now that I have this opportunity. You guys mind giving me a minute since the fans chose Sky Blue for me, so I might as well let Sky Blue have it a bit. So anyway, let me go look at the notes and I'll be nice. I'll say, we went back to our one tactic of the long balls. It seems like we like to do that. Just kick it forward and hope that Naughty and Nadim can run under it and take on 4 people. That didn't work this time again, and it didn't work the last game. It didn't work the game before that. So maybe we need to think about changing. I mean, because Killian and them aren't there. Fishlock's just a little devil in the midfield. She's always running, causing trouble, and Friels and Killian just aren't. They're not those type of players. They're thin players, and they're more. They shouldn't. They can't body. They're not physical players, so it's just not their type of game to play against. So I saw that happening. Other than that, I mean, we started off with what they said was supposed to be a 4-3-3, and then it ended up looking like a 5-4-1. I mean, the one person I think that was supposed to be in the right wing ended up almost playing all the way back as a right back or something. I'm gonna move on. I just kid. I just say, Sky Blue, get your act together pretty soon. We're gonna have to find some. We need more physical players in our midfield. Definitely, that's one thing that I see for sure right now. The back line is gonna be young right now with Ford and Rampone out, but we need some. I mean, hopefully we get a good draft pick. We're getting bullied by these teams, and it's rough. It's real rough right now. So I'll go cry on my own. Let's talk about the Portland Thorns and Washington Spirit, since we have a Portland Thorn fan and a Washington Spirit fan. Let's start with you first. What did you think of that PK in that Portland game, Jen?
Yeah, that was some crap. that was kind of like the Seattle PK that just dropped out of freaking nowhere. Yeah, same thing happened to Washington there. It just dropped out of freaking nowhere. The refs were all about those BS controversial calls this week. So I'm just glad Kelsey Weiss was on point. I mean, she was fantastic. She was definitely my woman of that match. Kelsey Weiss was just knocking everything back, which was great. But, yeah, that PK was ridiculous.
Well, here, let's see her take that PK. Christy, how do you feel about that PK?
Well, do I make it as a fan or as an honest watcher? See, that's the what do you want?
You can be a fan right now a little bit, then you give your opinion on it. So you start with your fan feelings right now, because that's probably, stronger.
I mean, look. I mean, it happens every year. How many PKs do we see come through a game that they don't, they're not really PKs, and if it's your team, you don't really care. You're like, hey, I'll take the point. I'll take the score. But at the end of the day, every team's gonna benefit from some sort of BS call, and I'm just happy it was my team.
Yeah, I kind of benefited from that this week too, but I'm not gonna say who we're playing against. Overall, how did you think the Washington Spirit played? Karen? Actually, yeah, sure. Let's go, Karen. I was about to go to Jen, but Karen, how did you think the Washington Spirit played overall?
I thought they were awesome. But I mean, they have been consistently awesome the last however many weeks we've had. I've lost track now. But they've been pretty awesome every single game that I've seen them in, except for that first game. And that was the game that everybody was like, oh, Washington Spirit's going to be at the bottom of the league this year, oh, blah, blah. And then they just started playing amazing. Crystal Dunn is legit.
Yep.
She's amazing. And Nairn as well. Nairn, that shot that she took that hit the crossbar.
Oh, I know. Wasn't that nice?
That was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, the Washington Spirit has been on top of it. They've been really good. And Weiss was definitely my favorite player that game.
Rulio, how have you felt about Portland this year? It looks like Valley had a pretty solid season.
They had a very good game, especially Ali Long, even though she couldn't score from the PK. But a team can't make the mistakes they did at the beginning. The team needs to be focused since the first minute. The same thing Oyster did, and I don't want to throw her out there, but I think she put the Portland back into the game. I also want to talk about the great passing between Shin and Long when she scored.
Oh, that was beautiful. Yeah, I was going to mention that. Oh, yeah.
And what to say about Ali Long? 4 games, 4 goals. She's been amazing. She had an amazing game. I would say she was not just the player of the match, but player of the week too.
Yeah, she might win it, definitely. But as you said, just touching on that, yeah, the Mana Shim and Ali Long combination, they look so good together, playing like supposed to be playing. I guess they had them how the formation was looking like right side by side in that cam roll. They look great together. They off each other, him setting up Long, and also as your
chemistry.
Yeah, definitely, and for Washington, they've looked great all the year. Like they had that one game, like you said, where it was just like, oh my goodness, it looked really bad that first game. But ever since Dunn has been starting, I believe ever since, and she's just been amazing. Nairn's a beast in that midfield, doing what she wants. Ortega looked good last week. Actually, I was really impressed with how she was playing the whole time. So they really have a lot of positive things going on for Washington. So I think they're going to be in a pretty solid position if they continue that all year. Now, ladies and us gentlemen, it's time for the U.S. Women's National Team review. Oh! This is where the magic happens, so you better. Alright, guys, let's get to it. The U.S. Women's National Team played against the 31st ranked team in the world, Ireland, which should have been looked at more so as the 50th ranked world, not having all their starters do it to it being outside of a normal FIFA date. So we were playing a lesser version of the 31st ranked team in the world. I just did that so everyone knows. Okay. So what were your expectations going into this game, Aurelio?
Not very high. Like I said to you before, I think playing against these weak sides are pointless. They should prepare facing the tough teams. They're facing the World Cup. That should be the best way to prepare for it. These friendlies prove nothing.
Karen, did you feel the same way, kind of, that this was just like another one of those games against a weaker opponent that wouldn't prove much?
Well, yeah, sure, but I think any game you learn something as a team and as a fan watching your team. But I definitely think that as a fan, I was watching and seeing that they really need to work on connecting their passes better. I think that was a really big problem. I had a friend of mine ask me if the women's soccer if they play with a lighter ball because the balls looked like they were just like going like all over the place, and I was like, no, they're just not playing the way they should be playing. So, that was a definitely, and I think that's something that they can learn from for sure. Because Abby said they're like what 85% or something, and so I was seeing more like 75, 80, honestly. So I think we have some growing to do still.
Jennifer, what did you expect going into this game? Were you gonna read into it a lot, or were you like looking at the lineup thinking this would be our starting lineup going into the World Cup or anything like that?
Yeah, I really didn't know what to expect. We've got Alex Morgan and Tobin Heath both out on injury right now. So I wasn't sure how it was going to flow with them. I didn't know how it was going to play with Abby not playing for her club right now. So I really didn't have a whole lot of expectations going into it. But like Karen said, I think we can learn from every single match. And something else other than their passing that they definitely need to work on, connecting their passes. They definitely need to work on moving the ball a lot faster than what they were. Because it was just moving slowly down the field, and I think they all realized that at a certain point. But overall, I think they played fairly well, but they do still have a little bit of work to do. I think Abby's right there.
Christy, did you have any high expectations going into this game? Like, what were you looking at the game and trying to judge or pick up from it?
I think I was looking for a fast start, a pace. I think I was looking for to show she's still a good contributor. I think I was looking for the midfield to connect and show a lot of chemistry, and for players to be looking for each other to pass and taking shots in the right positions, and I think I didn't see any of that. I think that we're down to a month less than before the World Cup, and I think we are far behind the 8 ball, as they say, and I think that these games, we might as well just have called local college and played against them at this point. And it's like, we did the first, 20 minutes of the game, we didn't, and then they looked like they weren't even there, like they hadn't shown up yet, and they just, threw some imposters in uniforms out there. It was really disappointing, because you really want, if you can't get a fast start against a team playing not even their best players at the 31st ranked team, and you can't come out with a goal before the 42nd minute, was it? Or the 40th minute? You have a lot of work to do, and not any time to work on it. So it was pretty disappointing. Well, the only highlight I would say is that I think that Abby's proved that against not some of the group plays that teams we may play against, she may be able to give us, 60, 65 minutes of quality play against a quality team. I think she'll probably be able to give 100% for, maybe 30, 45 minutes, which we need off the bench for sure. So I think she'll be able to contribute, which I did get from that game. And she's healthy. She looks strong. And, once she started putting goals in, I think she really should have had a couple more that she didn't have yesterday. But, how many forwards can say that they play a game? They should have had 5 goals when they only had 2 or 3.
Yeah, I'll talk about because I remember. I guess I always look at it like this. I can remember games against teams like Russia. You guys probably remember those little funny little waste of time games. I called them those back-to-backs where we'd beat a team 8-0, 10-0, and then we laugh, call it a day, and we'd have a good time. It felt like a little party, and everything was good. Now it's like we watch these games, we're waiting for that to happen or whatever to kick in. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna get 5, 6, 7 on them. We get about 3. Maybe 2, or what was it during qualifiers? The first game, score 1 against Trinidad Tobago. I'm just waiting for them to just beat these teams, just because these teams are just so much lower with talent and everything. It's just not happening yet, and it's just I'm getting a bit nervous. I won't lie, I'm getting a bit nervous. But what did you think of the starting lineup, Jen?
I thought it was pretty good. I think that back line is probably going to be what we're looking at for starters for the World Cup. That back line back there, the only exception might be putting Christy Rampone in there. Other than that, I think that's probably our starting back line. The midfield, I think Jill Ellis is still kind of playing with that midfield. She hasn't figured out exactly where she wants to be with that yet. So I think maybe within the next 2 matches we're having for the send-off series, she's going to try to figure that out. And then up front, she's going to look for who she can play with Abby. She's going to look for who she can play with Alex Morgan. Because, up front, they have to have that chemistry. I'm going to go back to Washington Spirit here because I love them. You got people like Crystal Dunn and Francesca Ordega up front. The two of them are almost unbeatable. Jill Ellis is looking for that same thing on the national team, so she's going to keep looking until she finds it.
Right on. Karen, is there any changes to the lineup you would have done, or did you like what you saw for the starting lineup?
I think I liked what I saw. I can't figure out if I want Press to stay in midfield or if I want her to be up front, because I want her on the field for sure, because she is insane. Some of those plays that she was making with the ball, it seemed like sometimes she was the only one on the field. Like she was just on fire. But I can't figure out if I want her in the midfield or up front. And I think once Alex Morgan is fully healthy, she'll probably be up front just because that's where she usually is. And I also think maybe in the back line, I would keep it the way Ellis did, but I think I see KO getting a little more time, and maybe that's just my personal preference because I love her. But I think Kelly O'Hara really did come onto the field, and I think that she did a really good job despite what Tony DeChico had to say about it.
Oh, he was tearing her apart.
Me.
Julio, think of our forwards.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Please repeat
You're starting
that.
forward, so you had the chance to run the team for a day. Just one day, not for the whole World Cup.
They're starting forwards.
Yeah, who would you want?
With the players we had yesterday, I'd start Press and A-Rod up front. I would have chosen Brian for the mid and O'Hara for the left.
Sounds about right. That's how I was
But it
feeling
would
about
be
it.
a completely different team if I could choose from all the players in the league.
Yeah. Well, that's another story for another time, Erica Timrack, but we won't talk about that. Christy, what's up?
Go high.
Right. Christy, what's up with your girl Alex Morgan? You think she'll be fully healed by the time we get back to the World Cup?
Well, one of the posts that I was ranting about on Twitter yesterday was that, and while I understand the erring on the side of caution with the World Cup looming, as they say, and they're having issues with injuries and being afraid of an actual injury taking a key player out of the game, I think that she's still kind of polished up from coming back from the ankle injuries, and this isn't going to help. If Jill Ellis is thinking that they're going to use group play to get Alex in top form, I don't know that just based on what we've seen, the rest of the team can carry us through group play without Alex Morgan being at top form. And just looking at our group, it's not an easy group. And I don't know that someone who puts lineups together and someone who puts us together really knows what they're doing at the end of the day, because I understand that the issue we have is we have all these forwards and no chemistry. We have tons of forwards. We have forwards coming out of our nose. Mm-hmm. And none of them have any chemistry except for Alex and Abby. And that Alex has been injured and Abby is past her prime, we'll say it gently. So everybody likes Press and Alex are like oil and water. They don't mesh, so you can't put the two of them up top together. It's just not gonna happen. And A-Rod is great, but I hope she has a great World Cup. Let's say it that way, because I really like her, and she has a lot of technique and a lot of potential. And so I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do, but lost my total train of thought at this point. I have no idea what even the question was at this point. But yeah, hopefully Alex will come back. I don't even know. Alex will come back and be in top form, but I don't really see that that's the case. I think she's still practicing 100%, so there's that. I'll stop now.
That's fine. We had to give an Alex Morgan fan a second to just tell how they really felt about everything, because we know they're pretty hurt right now. So you vented for all of you guys. That's understandable. I guess I could tell my opinion on the starting lineup now. It was fine to me. I mean, I guess I felt the same way. I would have wanted to see Press up top and see how it looked with Press and A-Rod. I don't think we've seen that combination. We might have maybe once down the road. I don't ever remember it. Throw her up there and see what that's like. It would have been interesting to see if those two could have mixed pretty well or played off each other pretty well. But every time A-Rod gets up there, I get a bit happy because every time she's out there, she seems like she's always just running around nonstop. And when she touches the ball, she tries to make something happen. So I like A-Rod. All right, guys, let's jump into the game. We can talk about the first half a bit, or half. Very slow play. I thought it was funny how the announcers said they kept showing their trick plays from the corners. They kept trying to, how they kept pressing all of their different corners. What did you think of the first half, really, of all the trick plays? I guess they call it trick plays.
Yeah. Trick plays, you mean long balls and too many crosses trying to find Abby. I hope we don't see that in the World Cup or we will lose. That's why I would have started Morgan in the midfield. She could have distributed the ball better, controlling the midfield, helping to connect with A-Rod, and use her chemistry with Lloyd to create more chances and not just crosses.
Yeah, I always fear when we start to when I see one, I get scared that there's going to be a 30 more. But that's the interesting thing about more telecast. Like maybe she's not really sold on Holiday. Well, Holiday's been playing out of position. Holiday, we all know Holiday had a horrible game yesterday. I don't know. Maybe one of you guys might have thought she did pretty decent, but the whole thing has been she's been playing bad on the national team because she's playing out of position. And she had another rough game into the first half. Karen, what did you think of the first half?
I agree. Holiday had a really rough game. And she had that one corner that she took that JJ put in the back of the net. That was legit.
Yep.
But I think generally she just had a pretty rough game. And once she was subbed out, I think Heather O'Reilly came on for her.
Yep, that's right.
She seemed to start clicking better. And I think just because Heo she is so good at crossing, and she is so good at running up the flank, and she's just an amazing player. But I think if Holiday finds that position that she's good at, and if Ellis finds that position that she can put Holiday in, or just find somebody that works better in that position than Holiday does, because I think that was the biggest issue in the first half was our midfield was just not clicking.
Right. And as you said, we'll talk about the second half in a bit, but when Heo came in, she started playing the way you would want as a winger to play. She was just taking on people, crossing in ball, nice crosses, because once she gets down on her right foot, Heo's going to usually hit ahead 9 out of 10 times. And you can see the team just looked better when Holiday was taken out. Jen, what did you think of the first half of the game?
Yeah, talking about Holiday, I normally like Holiday and Carly Lloyd in the central midfield. Those are normally my two that I'll put in the central midfield. But Holiday was not on point at all yesterday. Abby, again, like Christy said, should have had a couple that went in that didn't. So she was struggling for a little bit in the first half to get on frame. I think the effort was there, but for some reason nothing was clicking until Abby started scoring those goals and getting those in. But prior to that, we didn't have anything clicking forward. Granted, the ball never saw Hope Solo ever the entire game. So, that has to say something because even though we weren't scoring, we kept them from scoring pretty well too. So something was happening to keep the ball forward. We just couldn't connect it for the final product.
And also in that first half, as you said, with people not really getting involved or not even touching it, I didn't even notice Carly Lloyd until about, I think, the 40th minute. I felt like she was invisible for a while. It was weird, just how the midfield was playing that whole half. Christy, what was your take
That's
on the
because
first
nobody hit her in the face.
Right.
No black eye, no Carly.
All right, Christy, what's your take on the first half?
Here, try that one again.
Right, Christy, what was your take on the first half? This is off the post, man. It never ends. It never ends the madness. Continue.
It was really slow. Pretty disappointing until the last, I would say, 5 to 7 minutes of the first half when Abby started putting things together. Outside of that, I mean, I really didn't see anything special come out of that first half. I mean, if anything, I was disappointed by lack of performance. I mean, most of the people on that team are players that, Jill seems to think are starting players. And, I just didn't see a lot of chemistry, and I think that's the biggest. Playing Cheney out of position, Holiday, whatever you want to call her. Out of position it's a huge mistake, and I don't know why Jill Ellis that playing half the players out of their position and poor performances, they don't click in her head where she goes, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that, it's not working. Those things don't connect upstairs when she's thinking out loud, I think. But outside of that, I don't really know. I mean, that's it. I don't have a single highlight except for Abby had some really nice goals, some really old school Abby header style goals, which were really awesome.
Well, I mean, they definitely gave her enough chances because it started off where it was so funny. We were sending text messages. People were just like, "Look, she's not finishing. That's why she should play." Then she finished the 2, and it got real quiet on my phone. I'm still gonna voice my opinion. She shouldn't be out there, but yeah, she scored. So it was good. That it's good. We need her to score because we don't want to see anyone do bad anyway. But yeah, so Abby did good, and then. Let's move on to the second half. As we could start with the Hale thing, as you were saying, Karen. I think that was a major thing because I felt in the first half we should have been running at Ireland like Hale was doing to begin with. And when they put her out there, she started taking on players immediately. You feel like Hale should actually get a start next game?
Definitely. I definitely think so. Whenever she's on the pitch, she is constantly the fastest person on the pitch. She is so fast, and she has no problem taking on anybody. That's why I like Press as well. Press will take on whoever is in front of her, and I think that's really impressive. I don't think Abby has that, and I think Alex does have that. Sid, unfortunately, she has the speed, but I also think that she kind of loses the ball at her feet sometimes. So if we get players like Heo and Press going at defenders, especially defenders who are, not to diss the Ireland team, but they're 31st, and they're not up to par with our defenders or something like that. So if we can get players who are doing that, I think that would be good, and I think you saw that in the second half. But I also think the second half, the most impressive player on the pitch was Julie Johnston for me.
Oh yeah, definitely. Aurelio, speaking of See It, what have you thought of See It lately? It feels like she's just. I remember there was a point last year where she was in form, and it just felt like she was amazing. Anytime she touched the ball, she was putting it in the back of the net. Now she feels like she kind of fell off. What do you think her role will be this World Cup?
Yeah, I think it's just a bad phase for her, just like Tobin Heath. They both disappeared. All the magic from Sid and Tobin I don't see that anymore. I think she needs more confidence. She thinks she start more games up front and scoring. I think that's the only way she'll get back to form.
Yeah, you're right about that. I think it's a confidence thing because even with the Flash, you've seen how it was kind of just like she lost it. Or even with the rain a bit last year, she wasn't. It was like with the national team, she was something amazing during that one little stretch, and afterwards she just lost it completely and couldn't find the back of her net as consistently as she was with the national team. So maybe if she puts a few in the back of the net against some of these teams, she'll start feeling better. They keep saying injury, but how long are you going to keep using that? Sometimes I feel they throw that as a crutch a lot of times with players. Like, oh, they were injured, and that's why. But she's out there. If you're going to be out there, at least try to perform. Jen, What did you think of the second half? Uh,
Okay,
All right.
so it's just
Jen, are
the
you
three of
there?
us.
It's about to be three of us now, three amigos.
Oh man.
No, don't worry. This has happened before. Rulio, did you think the... oh, there goes Jen. There you go. I'm going to get you while you're here now. Rulio, while we're waiting on Jen, it always happens to us. Did you like the substitution of Morgan Bryan, or do you think she should she should have even started the game?
Well, I like the substitution, but of course she should have started the game to control the midfield, defend, and attack, creating chances, distributing the ball. Like I said earlier, she's been doing that very well for the dash. So I think he can do that for the U.S. Women's National Team too.
And what team do you support again?
Me?
Oh, you're a Dash fan. Oh, no wonder. Karen, since our other people have lagged out, and they'll probably be back shortly. Is there any? What did you think of KO? What did you think of KO's performance out there as you were speaking about it earlier?
I love watching KO play because I know that again Tony DeChico has some problems with it apparently, but I really like her a lot because she gets forward. Like Krieger, she gets forward because she has that experience playing forward, and she has the ability to put some really good balls in there too. And I thought that she made a couple of really good stops too, really good interceptions when she was on the pitch. And I think that she deserves more of a chance than I think Jill Ellis has been giving her. But every time she gets on the pitch, I'm impressed with her.
It's been weird with KO because it just feels like Ellis just automatically didn't like had her mind set on clean and just never gave KO a real shot at it. She actually even brought in Chalupany to have more of a shot at that position than give KO a chance to battle clean forward. So it's been real weird, and I feel like she just needs playing time too, really, and we can see her true potential, as you said. And I mean, it was funny what you were saying about how you and KO are linked somehow. Were you saying, or you guys are cool?
She's my spirit animal.
That's what it is. Yeah, that had me laughing. I was laughing. So I was like, right on. At least she chose a good player right there. Other than that, guys, it looked like Christy is back. Can you hear us, Christy?
Hi.
Hey, Christy.
Hey.
How you been doing lately? Haven't seen you in a while.
I've been hanging in there. You know, all of a sudden the hangout hangs me right out. So.
What did you think? What did you think of Julie Johnston's goal, Christy?
You know, I didn't know that she was into jiu-jitsu or whatever those little fancy moves. But that was a pretty sick goal. I'm not kidding. I mean, she has been a beast on set pieces. 3 goals in 3 consecutive games, I believe. And she makes them look easy. Like she's like, I mean, she's played midfield, she's played forward before, so it's not like she's never been in goal before, around the 6 and things like that, where she can take shots on goal. So it's good to see a player who's pretty darn sharp at defense. And she can still come up and score when she needs to. And she's right place, right time. She has a really good sense about where that ball's coming in.
Yep.
She's made some really nice finishes inside on those set pieces.
How she's been playing lately, it's just, she's become one of my favorite players. Just, she has all the makings of a world-class center back. I will say that because she's comfortable in the ball. She knows where to, like you said, she's always just dived and missed that one header where she dove for it and it just almost skimmed her ponytail when it was flipping up. It was like she just knows where, like, oh my goodness, it's amazing. Like every time she's in that box, she's almost always near the ball for a header, and that's what you want, a good center back that can come up and help on those corners and get headers, and then when she gets the ball back there, she's comfortable, knows how to pass it out, and if she has to, she can drive it right up the field if they give her the space. She has all the makings of a world-class center back, in my opinion, so I think we should continue to look out for her. And imagine that, she's got Becky Sarper right next to her, so if you got those two for the next 8 years, oh my goodness.
She had an amazing game, too.
Yeah, what did you think of Becky's game? I always liked that, Karen. What do you think of her actually this whole time for us.
She was so good. Like there were a few times, and it probably happened more than 5 different times, but somebody would somehow get the ball past her, run past her, and she would just sprint back, take it back, and it was just like, it looked so easy. She did it like more than 5 different times, and she was making amazing tackles. She was just so good.
I guess I got to give a quick shout out to Ireland's team, Megan Campbell. I mean, those long throw-ins are pretty amazing. What did you think of that, Aurelio, real quick? You know?
Me?
Oh yeah, Aurelio. Off the
I think
post.
this young Ireland generation showed some talent, maybe. So I think for the future, not for this World Cup, but for the future, they can make some impact.
Yeah, like you said, it's really their whole team was so young. I mean, if you got a player out there that's playing from Florida State University, you can't really expect them to be able to compete with these team players who played in Olympics, played in World Cups, and so on and so forth. So for what they did, I felt they actually played really good, Ireland, for the team they had out there. It's some of the 19-year-olds they were throwing into the fire. So that was a good game. What did you feel? I guess we'll go with you, Karen. How did you feel we performed overall, the U.S. women's national team?
Like going forward, like the World Cup, or?
Yeah, or just this game, and then like going forward, I guess with the friendly, Mexico friendly. We'll look at those two right now. And
I have a feeling that is going to be a really awesome game. But I'm going to be there live, so I'm excited about that. But
okay.
Just the crowd in Los Angeles with a game that is the U.S. versus Mexico, it's going to be insane. And I know that both teams are going to feed off of that, so it's going to be interesting to see what the U.S. takes from this game against Ireland, because Mexico is absolutely a better matchup for them than Ireland was. And I don't think that they're going to be getting very easy goals against Mexico, even though the things that I've read on the internet, everybody's like, oh, we're going to wipe them. No, I don't think so. I think it's going to be pretty even match. Unless we start clicking in a way that we haven't been clicking in the last couple of games.
Yeah, I mean, even after we played against, what was the team that we played in Algarve that was 19th ranked in the world, and we were supposed to just batter them, and it ended up a 0-0 draw, and Iceland, I think it was. Iceland. Yeah.
Iceland.
And then that was a game we were supposed to just batter them, and their coach kind of even laughed at us, like, oh, you guys didn't even, you guys were talking like you should have beat us or whatever. We shouldn't have even held you guys. So I think the Mexico game might be a good one, because Mexico's going into World Cup, and they got some players on there that you should fear a little bit. So I think, and it's not going to be, because I think we're ranked 25th, but they're not going to be a ranked 25th team with a bunch of injuries or a bunch of players not there. They're going to have their true team there because they're trying to prep for the World Cup. So I expect this Mexico game, especially in Los Angeles, it should give it a nice give them that kind of hostile environment they need before going up to Canada. This should be a real good game. Christy, what do you think we should look at going forward with the U.S. women's national team?
Look at in terms of people, what we're looking for?
Or just like next friendly, next, going forward for the World Cup. You just look ahead a couple of games.
The next, at least the next friendly against the opponent who could actually potentially get into the quarterfinals. At least there's that. They might actually have a shot to give us some competition. I don't know. I'll be honest unless they change something pretty significant, I am not thinking or not sure that we're going to come out of this game with a win. If that team that played yesterday plays against Mexico, they're going to get beat. I don't even see it. You can't start slow against a top 5, top 10 team. You can't. It's not even an option. And they are notoriously starting slow this season and last season. They started the game slow. That's what cost them the game against France that time. That game they played against France, where they lost 2-0, which was a certainly deserved win. And they have so many things that they've got to work on, and they're out of time to work on them. And she has taken her sweet time putting this team together, and she still doesn't know who she wants to start and what position. So anyway, I think a real test. I like to be there for the show after the Mexico game. I think that's going to be a real test.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Rulio, as I was about to say, can you check for the questions real quick? And I guess I'll go on about how I feel about the next game. Yeah, and like I said, it's going to be a real good challenge. It should be good to see where we are. I think she's going to make changes to the lineup. I really do see her probably placing Morgan Bryant in for Lauren Holiday. Don't quote me on that or hold me to it, but I think Morgan Bryant, she wants to see her out there probably and see what she does. Also, maybe KO gets out there. I don't know. I'd say give her a chance because you really want to get her in form because she's a player that can play in multiple positions. You might as well run her out there a few times to give her some run. The starting forwards, maybe I would say Abby's going to start again. Maybe A-Rod again. I guess you have to go Abby and A-Rod if Sid is supposedly still kind of working herself off her injury. Alex Morgan's going to start hurt, and Press is not going to play. I would like to move, like I said, Press up there and then threw Hale back out there because Hale looked good out there, and I really think she'd do the same again, taking on players and stuff like that. Other than that, I mean, I'm really going to be happy for this game because I really want to see a challenge. I used to hate watching those friendlies where we just beat people to death, and like I said, I used to call it like it was just like we were inviting someone to a party just because we knew we were going to win. So we knew we were going to go to a game and cheer. Like I remember watching, actually, when we played Mexico, the game that me and Christy we were at, where we went down in D.C. and they remember the game where Sydney and Rue scored about what 4, 3, or 5 or the hat trick. Yeah, and the game went so fast we were all just standing up cheering the whole time, hey, because we knew we were gonna win, but it was just a matter of how big we were gonna win. Those were the good old days, but I don't expect that to happen. So maybe 2-1. I guess yours from a national team. Let's give scores. Karen, give your score.
I'd say maybe like a 3-1, maybe 2-0. No, I don't think we're gonna have more than 2 goals more than they're gonna have for sure.
Right. Maybe Hope Solo will actually get some work next game. Rulio, give me a score.
3-0 USA. It could be that easy game. I don't see Mexico putting on some pressure or anything like that.
Christy, give us an upset special. What is your score?
I don't know. I think it'll be. I mean, honestly, I think we will probably win, but I think it's going to be a slim margin. I would say 1-0.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. I'm no longer going against what I've originally written down or picked because I went against that in that Houston Dash game at the beginning of the year. So, Houston Dash will lose to Washington 2-1, and they just got dominated. So I'm going with everyone else. All these panelists are right. I'm following them along. What do we got, Aurelia? We got any questions, or do I have to go through the shout-outs and then end the show with my usual funny
Yeah,
wrap-up?
no questions on Twitter or Facebook.
That sounds good, because it's in the middle of the week. We're not going to get many anyway. All right, it's time.
Don't get questions on Facebook either.
Nothing on Facebook. Yeah, the Facebook people like us, but they don't like us. It's like that's where we get all these panelists from all the time. Like Karen's a Facebook panelist, and then or like we had Luke on or whatever, and then it's just like they don't ever give us questions. They're like, I watched. I'm like, right off for the support, but give us a question sometimes. We appreciate it. No, it's cool. Thanks a lot.
The Facebook people can send questions to me too on my personal.
Oh,
Zanini.
Oh,
You can find me on off the post or anything like their groups, U.S. soccer groups.
Oh, you wanted to ask you how you feel or whatever, just to ask you like what you're eating for dinner and stuff, like. You just put it off the post. You don't gotta send them to your personal so you can make new friends and stuff too. All right, I guess it's a shout out time, then I'll do the reminders time. Shout outs to Ellie. Hope she gets well soon. She's one of the newest members of the Off the Post International. She's been kind of sick. Cell phone. She's been kind of sick, so it was weird. It caught my eye because it didn't go off the whole day. She's been kind of sick, so I'm hoping she gets better. Also, shout out to Hannah. Shout out to Claire Page. And that's it, actually. So those are all the shout outs for today. Let's thank Karen. Let's all give her a round of applause for actually coming on. You guys will get to see her at this Thursday for the Sky Blue Spotlight, right?
Right.
Yeah, that'd be good. We actually have someone with some knowledge on the Sky Blue Spotlight. Also, tomorrow, make sure you watch it. Well, you won't get to watch because most of you are going to be at work. Make sure later on in the day you get to check out the UEFA Women's Champion, like, brain fart right there. UEFA's Women's Champion League preview. We're going to talk about FFC Frankfurt and PSG Femina. I am horrible with my French. Let me just call them PSG ladies. You guys know I'm American. Don't get mad at me. Let's wrap it up, guys. Anything else you guys want to say? Aurelio, do you have anything else to say to the fans or about the U.S. Women's National Team? About Jill Ellis?
How about
better stay quiet.
Oh, really? You're gonna
what
be
did he
nice.
say?
I think he's going to be nice today, Sam.
Nice. Who wants to be nice?
Wow. Christy, tell us how you really feel, because I know you got an issue with somebody.
The announcers? Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
I
Maybe
get to
they're
hear
killing
one
me.
more time how Kat Whitehill used to do this and Kat Whitehill used to do that and how she thinks all these other people should be doing all these things. I'm going to throw myself on the mercy of my TV screen and stab myself to death. I'm done with it.
Trick plays, guys. Trick plays. All these they can't show their trick plays before the World Cup because teams are going to wait for you to do a trick play from a corner.
When I used to play, well, we don't want to hear about when you used to play.
Karen. Karen, do you have anything you want to say? Give yourself a quick rant about something that was really, grinding your gears.
I have a really big problem with Tony DiCicco's commentating, honestly. Like, this guy, commentate on the game. He's constantly just, negative. And you're just like, when this guy, here's a rainbow or some sunshine. What is wrong with you? And it just, in my petty mind, I was like, this is just because you didn't get the job, right?
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
He was just constantly rah, rah. And it's like, we as fans, we see where there are problems, and we see where there needs to be some improvements. But, you got to go both ways when you're a commentator.
Yep.
Yes, unbiased opinions are usually the best appreciated ones. So.
Yeah.
Well, guys, that was good. I think we're gonna do that more often. Just let people just go off with little rants like that. That was actually kind of funny. I actually thought that was hilarious, to be honest. Other than that, I guess I don't know. I already said all my beefs, didn't I? No, my beef is with the Seattle Reign. You know what, Seattle Reign? Here's my beef with you. You guys think that wasn't a PK? Well, we got to point out of it anyway. So I don't like people like you say we didn't deserve that PK. No, I'm joking. I don't have any rants. All right, guys. This is Off the Post. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr. We got a bunch of junk for you to check out. Definitely follow us or sub this week if you like the show. If you really liked it, you can give us a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, get out of here. That's a wrap, guys. Bye. Bye-bye. The show ends.